Alright guys, welcome to episode 4 of Ranking, Rating, and Tiering Horror Franchises. And today is my favorite freaking franchise, Hellraiser. Let's get into it. So to get into the tier list, we have Hell Yes. As y'all could probably guess what that is. That's a great, perfect freaking movie. We have Great Time, which I consider to be really, really good. And up there dang near with Hell Yes. And then we have Good, which is good. I'll watch it. And then we have I'll watch it, which means I'd watch it, but, you know, it's so-so. And then we have Runaway Joey. Now, that's when we're getting into some territory where it's kind of like it's getting boring. It's wasting my time. You know, I wouldn't waste your time. And then we have This Is Pain. And I'm going to consider that tier as in it probably should have never been made or even thought of to be made. So let's go. Getting started with Hellraiser 1. This is my favorite one of the favorite ones out of the freaking franchise. Great movie. Love the way they started things off. Love the way they went about doing the movie. And how they introduced the Christie. And how they brought all the Cenobites all in one movie. Just to show you the scale of how hell would work. And also to go into context about the box. About how it works as basically a portal. But there's more in the franchise that literally describe it way more. So that's why I'm going to actually put this as my number 3 spot. Number 3. Hear me out. I understand people like originals better. But listen. Hear me out. Number 3 spot. Easily a 9. One of the greatest out of the freaking franchise. I'm going to stick it up there with Hell Yes. And getting into Hellraiser 2. Hellbound. This one is absolutely better than the original. And I understand people might disagree. Now I know there's a lot of people out there, because I've seen it, that do agree. And I understand where y'all are coming from. This movie literally takes off. Pinches off what it did in the original, right? And just throws it way out there into something that it should have been all along. I understand the budget for the first one. But for a second one, to absolutely blow it out of the water. To introduce Leviathan. To introduce the concept of hell. To show you all the Cenobites that could possibly come out of hell. And just the storyline they went with. To introduce Christie again. And then also this new character who figured out how to use the puzzle box. And then also going in detail of how the puzzle box works even more. I love it. Love everything about it. I'm going to use this as my number 1 spot. And easily a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. I'm going to stick it right up there and Hell Yes. Alright guys, I'm getting into Hellraiser 3. Hell on Earth. This is the one I don't understand. It gets hate for some reason and is low rated. And I don't get why. This is one of the best ones out of the freaking series, man. Like literally, to show the scale of what Pinhead could do in that club scene. On top of going in depth of why the box is like a portal. And how anybody, as long as they figure it out, can open that portal. Is just beyond me. And literally seeing that scene in the church. Like, come on. I understand some of the acting in here was not too good. But the story was good. Pinhead scenes were good. Going in depth to a whole new story. Joey with her father. And Pinhead being in the pinnacle of there trying to mess with her. Literally just took me for a ride. I love it. I love watching it every single time. In all honesty, I want to put it in Hell Yes. But I'll reserve that seat. And I'm easily going to give this an 8. Like, that's minimum 8 out of 10. And, you know, I'm going to rank it maybe my number 4. And y'all see why. But either way, I don't get why it gets so much hate. I love this. If y'all haven't watched this one, y'all have to watch this one. Literally, it's worth it. So I'll just stick it in the Great Time for now to explain. Well, just to make me explain right here. The only reason that Part 3 was not in Hell Yes is because this one's going to be my number 2. And easily a 9 out of 10. And I'll explain why. This one, for some reason, I love watching it every time. It shows all the way back to the scaling of when the freaking box was made. It literally shows you everything. All the context and everything in the whole series on why the box was made by the toy maker and John Merchant. And why the guy who used the black magic, De La Ellis, cursed the box. So it gives you this perfect freaking storyline of why everything came about. And why Pinhead came about from the box. Because Pinhead came way later after the box was made. So it shows you on why it came about. and also jumping back from the past to the future, from back in, it looked like 1700s, all the way to the freaking, you know, God knows when the future was. They were in a spaceship. Pinhead comes in a spaceship. He traps them in the spaceship. I loved everything about this movie. I don't know why I get so much hate. I feel like back then people looked at it and said, oh my God, Pinhead Space, ugh. And just didn't even give it a chance. Watch, just give it a chance. Trust me, I think y'all are going to love it too. Yeah, easily a 9 out of 10, number 2 spot. I'm going to stick it in there with hell yes. Which brings me to my next one, Hellraiser Inferno. And this one honestly wasn't too bad. A lot of people hate on it, but I don't think it was too bad. It just wasn't one of the best ones out of the series. I love the freaking storyline I went with. Some of the acting was a little off, don't get me wrong. It was, But showing the more Cenobites, and along with the story and Hellraiser's scenes of the movie were pretty good. So I give it my number 6 and 6.5 out of 10. And I'll actually stick this one and I'll watch. Which brings me to my next one, Hellraiser Healthseeker. All honesty, guys, this one ain't too bad. I just don't think it's good at all. And don't get me wrong, you know, bringing Christie back and some of the Hellraiser, some of the Pinhead scenes were pretty alright, but at the same time, the acting on most of them were just, If we're being honest, I'd probably watch it again. I'd watch it again. So I'll give it a 6 tops out of 10, and put it in my number 7 spot. And I'll stick it right up there with I'll watch. And now we're getting into Hellraiser 7, Deeter. Which this movie was not good at all. Like literally, it was not that good. The acting, the story, everything about it was just not good at all. If you don't have any way of watching it, don't waste your time trying to watch it. So I'll give it a 5, being generous, because they did try. But 5 at tops, and that would be my number 8. I'll stick it up there and run Joey, because I'm reserved This Is Pain. And the reason for me reserving This Is Pain is this one right here. Yeah, getting into this one right here is literally freaking horrible. I don't even know what they were going for. I really don't know the whole point of this movie at all. I watch it over and over again. I don't know the point of it. Yes, I know some people are going to say, but Henry Cavill's in it. I understand. I'm a Henry fan, but he shouldn't have been in this movie. Like, that movie was freaking horrible. So literally, that's why I reserved that spot. So it gets my number 9, because I think there's one, I'm going to get to in a minute. So it gets my number 9. It gets a 4 at best. 3. Matter of fact, a 3. How about that? 3 at best. Horrible. And I'm definitely sticking it in This Is Pain. And the reason I reserved my number 10 spot is because this one right here. I'll be honest, there's not many movies I hate, but I hate this movie. Like, I literally think a lot of fan films are better than this freaking movie. Like, there was no point in this movie being made. It was horrible. The scenes in this movie literally remind me of literally cheap acting and not even a budget. Like, it was just horrible. And the story, I don't understand the story, the whole point of it. Plus, they had a scene in there was very uncalled for. It's just horrible. It's literally just horrible. So I'm easily going to give it a 1 and my number 10 spot. Like, literally, I hate to do that, but it's the truth. It's horrible. I'm easily going to stick that in This Is Pain. Which brings us to our last one, Hellraiser Judgment. In all honesty, this one redeemed Revelations big time. This movie's actually pretty dang good for a low budget movie. And to do a reiteration of Pinhead and some Cenobites, literally perfect freaking timing to literally revamp Revelations. I honestly really like this movie very, very much. And I could honestly watch it over and over again and not have a problem with it. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10 and give it my number 5 spot. And it can go right in there with good. And in case you guys missed it, this is my tiering and ranking and ratings. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all in our next episode.